In this video, we'll be showing you how to create an outpatient referral and a new episode of care.
All SOPs for this process can be found via the EPR SOPs desktop icon once you've double-clicked onto the icon and navigated through to the appropriate trust. You can either locate the appropriate SOP by going into the applicable section, or you can do a document quick search located at the top of the screen. All titles for the SOPs covered within this video will be provided in the description box below, as well as timestamps if you wish to skip to this section.
To begin this process, you will need access to PM Office and ensure you have full smart card access to the system. This video assumes a user has had the appropriate training before conducting this process, with no supervision required. In PM Office, from the top left, please click on the conversation band and navigate to and select the action type Outpatient Referral List. Next, you will be presented with a patient demographic search dialog box, where firstly you can search for your patient locally on the EPR system from the new referral you are trying to register, using the following patient details: surname, gender and date of birth, or alternatively use the patient's NHS number or MRN number if known, and click search. If there are any details on the local EPR system for the patient, they will be displayed in the right-hand side pane. Please note, if the patient is not found, try different variations. For example, address search or add a first name in the name field. If an NHS number is present but no MRN, this would indicate that the patient is registered in EPR but at another trust who use EPR. Next, we must ensure we undertake a full PDS search in order to synchronise the patient's local EPR record with what the spine holds. The spine holds updated records of any changes made by patients. These may include updating GP details, home addresses, telephone numbers. In order to activate the PDS search option box, you will be required to complete the minimum fields in the PDS dialog box, which are surname, gender and date of birth. Please also note, you will not be able to perform a PDS search unless you use a smart card. Failure to use a smart card will result in locked demographic records, which will subsequently prevent a PDS spine update, patient appointment letters being generated and sent to the patients, the display of patient demographic details on clinical documentation. Next, click on the PDS button to trigger a summary care record spine trace. If presented with an organisation box, simply enter a facility name where the patient will have their treatment. In this scenario, we will select Bradford Royal Infirmary and simply press OK. If no results have been found, select OK, return to the patient's search dialog screen, and we can reset your search. In the PDS trace results screen, if you have more than one or more persons with the same name, please ensure you highlight the correct patient by verifying this by the NHS number, the GP details or the address. You can highlight the correct patient and press OK or select. The patient's information will now be retrieved from the spine. Once the information is retrieved from the spine, you may be presented with a PDS discrepancy screen. This is intended to highlight specific demographic differences between the SCR spine and the EPR local record. The left-hand part of the screen, namely local person, relates to demographic information in EPR, and the right-hand side of the screen, namely PDS person, relates to information stored on the spine. Please note, you will not receive PDS notifications if a patient's GP changes, as this information automatically pulls into the patient's EPR record, as long as there are no exception messages in EPR. In addition, next of kin, parent guardian, or emergency contact information is not shared with the spine. It is local to EPR only. At this point, there are a number of different options available on how and what information can be pulled into EPR from the spine. Firstly, retain all local data values where no information presented on the document relating to SCR spine will be pulled into the local record. Secondly, retain all PDS data values. All the information presented in the document will be pulled into the EPR record and will override the current local information held. And thirdly, select information using the radio buttons. This action can be used for both local and PDS, allowing a combination of both by checking the information carefully and looking at the affected dates. So for example, if I look at the affected dates for the local person, I've got July 26, 2024, which is most up-to-date record. So I think on this scenario, I'm not going to pull through from retain all PDS values, but simply retain all local values going by the affected date. Please note, the back button at the bottom right hand side can be used to back out of this synchronization and attempt to trace the patient record again. However, selecting the back button does not cancel a PDS discrepancy notification. It merely delays the required above actions. When satisfied with the selections you have made, simply select Update. Once registration synchronization of a patient has taken place, you will return to the initial PDS dialog box and proceed to add encounter from the bottom right hand side. Next, a select episode screen will be presented. Right click in the episode window and add episode, allowing you to add a new episode of care. Confirm this by selecting the new pathway new episode box. Highlight the newly created episode of care should sit in days and chronological order at the top of the episode screen. Press OK and this will generate the main referral window. All yellow fields are mandatory with the red asterisks. Legally resident in the UK field will be required to be completed. Staff should adhere to trust local policies and use the summary care record tool to check any patient legal resident status within the UK. Source of referral: who and how has referred the patient for a new episode of care. For example, if the GP is selected, it links the general practitioner automatically. Referral received date: when was a referral received into the trust, or the date stamped, or date on the letter if applicable. Local trust policies should be adhered to. RTT status: this will default to the RTT status options associated with the source of referral. If incorrect at any point, this can be changed to the options available. Set to pool consultant: select yes for the first available appointment. If no is selected, the lead clinician field becomes mandatory. Treatment function: if the lead clinician field has been completed, the clinician may have more than one treatment function associated to their profile. Ensure that the correct treatment function is displayed and selected. Priority type: select the correct priority from the options available.
Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions relating to any of the processes covered within this video, you can contact any member of the team on the email addresses provided. Alternatively, you can email epr.dqtraining@bthft.nhs.uk. This email account is monitored by the entire EPR training team and it is monitored daily.